Well, the SUV space in the Indian market has been growing exponentially with the launches of the Skoda Kushaq and the Volkswagen Tiguan. The competition has only heated up. To make things interesting, MG also has launched its Astor, which is based on the ZS platform. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Vipul, and in this video we're going to have a first look and a first drive experience of the MG Astor. Now, the MG Astor is based on the ZS platform of MG Motors, and we have seen a similar looking car in the form of the ZS EV, which has been doing quite well as an electric vehicle and has been giving a lot of ICE powered cars a run for their money. Would the Astor be able to do that? We don't know that yet because we don't know what the price of the MG Astor is. And once we know that, we'll be able to know if the car is actually value for money and it will be able to give a stiff competition to its competitors. Now, in terms of design, the car looks pretty good. You have this huge celestial grille with the huge MG logo in the center. There's a nice satin silver garnish for the grille, and the headlights, they are full LED headlights on this top trim variant, and you get projector headlights. There are these 9 jewel pieces and the Hawkeye inspired LED DRL. The indicators are also LED. You also get LED fog lamps. Now, the front has a lot of piano black finishes like you see here and in the centerpiece of the bumper. What you see here, this is the radar receiver for the car, and it helps in a lot of the ADAS features of the MG Astor. There's also the 360-degree camera here. Overall, the front looks pretty aggressive, and it also has a good SUV stance. Now, if we come to the side, now this car is based on the Buddh dynamic theme, and hence you get the Buddh dynamic logo here. The wheels are inspired by the turbine, and these are 215 55 section tires with 17-inch alloys. And if you see, these are red brake calipers. These are exclusive to the Buddh dynamic cars. Here you have the AI Inside logo and a dual tone ORVM, which has piano black finish with integrated turn indicators and the 360-degree camera. Now, besides the 360-degree camera, this also gets the blind spot monitoring system. So whenever a vehicle is approaching from behind the car, there will be a light that flashes here to indicate that there is a car coming from behind and it's trying to overtake you if you're trying to change lanes, and it gives you a warning. We'll talk about that more further into the video. The door handles are finished in chrome. Now, even the request sensor is finished in chrome here. It's not a black request sensor. You get piano black garnish over here, and below that this plastic cladding to give it an SUV look. The rear tires are the same as the front tires, 215 by 55, 17 inches. Here you have the fuel lid, and if you come back, you see this swept LED tail lights. This has 8 LED lighting pieces here and the turn indicators. There's a huge MG logo at the center and the Astor branding. You also get ADAS branding here because it has the ADAS features in it, and also the ZS logo, which denotes the platform that it is based on. Now, if you move down towards the bumper, you have this piano black finish along with the diffuser at the bottom, and you have this chrome garnishes for exhaust tips, but these are not functional exhaust tips. This is just for the aesthetics. The actual exhaust pipe is below the car right here. Apart from that, you also get a high stop lamp and a rear wiper washer along with a rear defogger. There is also a shark fin antenna finished in piano black, and you get these roof rails which are finished in satin silver. These are not functional, of course, because there is a huge sunroof which covers almost 90% of the roof. Now, let's talk about the boot. Now, this is a huge 470-liter boot, which is the best in the segment. The Creta and the Seltos have a 433 liter boot, whereas the Kushaq and the Taygun have a 385 liter boot, which makes the Astor's boot the biggest in the segment. And it is pretty well laid out as well. You have nice pockets here to keep your stuff, a nice tray so that when you place your bags they don't move around. If you don't want it, the tray can be removed and you get a flat out boot. Under this there is a spare wheel, which is a 215 by 60 R16 tire, and this is a steel tire and not alloy, and along with other tools as well. Now we'll have a quick look at the interiors of the car. Firstly, the door test. Yes, it is a nice hefty door and it shuts pretty well as well. Okay, so talking about the door, now the interiors of the car are pretty premium. You get soft to touch plastic here. It does not feel cheap at all. You get a satin silver finish for the doorknobs, and you get a satin silver garnish here. Here's the lock unlock button, and you get your power window controls along with the child lock control, a small space to keep your knickknacks, bottle holder to hold big bottles here, and of course the speaker. The speaker setup is 4 speakers and 2 tweeters. Each of the doors has a speaker, and there are 2 tweeters on the A-pillar. Talking about the interiors, like I said, it's a very premium feeling interior. You get leather finish up on the dashboard. This is the AI bot, or Hello Astor. You get satin silver finish for the AC vents, and there's a line that runs along the dashboard. And since this is a Buddh dynamic themed car, you get the Buddh dynamic branding again over here. Leather finish with a nice stitching in the same color as the leather. The car that we are sitting in has dual tone sangria color interiors, which has this red and black dual tone finish. There is also an ivory and black dual tone finish, as well as a tuxedo black, which is an all black interior. Now also the AC vents, the side AC vents, these look like they have been inspired by the airplane turbines and look really nice, with these controls to put them on and off. The steering wheel is also well laid out with leather finishing on top. You get perforated leather here. Here you have the media controls and telephony controls. These controls will control the driver information system, and this is to activate your voice commands. It's a nice 3-spoke D-cut steering wheel, which is really nice to hold, feels really nice in the corners, and it's very comfortable to hold as well. You have the switches for the wipers, the indicators, and your light controls, and controls for the cruise control are right here. The seats are very comfortable. They have perforated leather on them. However, it does miss out on getting ventilation. There is no ventilation on these seats, but they are very comfortable, and you can do longer drives. You can spend hours in the seat and you will not get tired. Now the dashboard is also pretty well laid out. You have the AI bot here. There is a 10.1 inch touchscreen infotainment system, and the touchscreen is pretty responsive. It's very easy to use, very intuitive, and you have all these. You can lock the touchscreen also, and you have all the car settings right here, and it's pretty easy to use. And along with the Astor, you can control some features of the car as well, like for example, hello Astor, open sunroof. So that's how the Astor works. Also, the driver information system is pretty well laid out. You have the speed gauge, you have the fuel gauge, the range. You also have the gear position indicator and the RPM meter here. and it also gives you all the telltale lights for the cruise control and the ADAS features of the car. We have done a detailed review of the interiors, the infotainment system, and the AI Astrobot as well. So do check out that video. The link will be appearing in the I button above. So that is a very comprehensive review. We have explained each feature in that video and how they work in that video. So do check that out. Moving along, just let's check out the back seat of the car. Now the back seat of the Astor is also pretty well laid out. It's pretty comfortable, and 4 passengers can travel very comfortably on long journeys without any hassle. Obviously, seating a 5th person might get a little uncomfortable, but if there is a child sitting on the middle seat, you still can travel comfortably on long distances. There's also this nice handrest if there are only 4 passengers with cup holders, and you get 2-point seat belts for all 3 passengers, along with mounts for your ISOFIX child seats. There are also door pockets and magazine holders to keep your phone and other knickknacks. There's also rear AC vents for the rear passengers, along with 2 USB ports. The rear seat is a really comfortable place to be in, and it will keep you comfortable on the long journeys. The sunroof also opens up pretty well, so if you want a view of the sky, this big sunroof is going to open up the skies to you. Now we're going to test the lane change assist, wherein we're going to drive in a lane and see how it works. So basically what is going to happen is we're going to drive in one lane and try to change lanes. So we're going to change to the left lane, and if a car passes you from behind, there will be an indication on the ORVMs showing that there is a car passing and you should not change lanes. So first we are putting the car, giving the indication for turning left, and here we go. So as you saw, since there was a car approaching from the left side, we were getting an indication that there is a car coming and you should not be changing lanes. This feature works only when your car is above 30 kilometers per hour. So if you're at a slower speed, the indicators won't work. If you're at a speed higher than 30 kilometers, only then the indication works. Now we're going to test out the blind spot monitoring. And what we're going to do is we're going to drive at a certain speed. It activates only above 30 kilometers per hour, and if the car is closer to me and if it's overtaking from the left hand side or the right hand side, it will show up on the ORVMs. So let's check that out. So as you saw, when the car was trying to overtake, even if the car was not visible in the ORVM, the indicator will still indicate that there is some vehicle approaching from the left hand side, and you can either slow down or not try to change lanes. Now we're going to check out the rear cross traffic alert. So what happens in this is basically when you are parked in a parking spot and you put the car into reverse, what will happen is when there is an obstacle that comes in your way while you're trying to reverse, the system will give an indication along with an arrow and from the direction where it was passing from. Now we have slotted the car in reverse and a car will pass behind us. So like we saw, there was an indication that there is a car passing, and you should be careful while turning when you're taking your car out. Because the vehicle was approaching from the left hand side, the indicator showed that there is a vehicle approaching from the left. If it's coming from the right, like you saw right now, it gave an indication that there is a vehicle approaching from the right. So basically it gives you assistance to maneuver your turns while you're getting out of the parking. Now the MG Astor also comes with something called EPS, or electronic programmable steering, wherein there are three modes: urban, normal and dynamic, wherein the weight of the steering changes as you change the modes. So firstly we're going to try out the urban mode, which is a city mode. The steering feels very light in this mode. So if you can see, the steering is very light, and I can actually turn the car with one finger. It's that light. You're driving in traffic, you're driving in the city, and you want to get out of tight spaces while you're reversing, or you're coming out of a parking spot. This is the best mode to select and drive the car in. Now we'll switch on to the normal mode, which is a middle mode, wherein the steering weighs up a little bit. It's not as light as it was before, and it gives a more sturdy feel. So this will be for basic highway drives, wherein you're going over highways, overtaking. So this mode is perfect for that. The last and final mode is the dynamic mode, which somewhat I would say it's like a sports mode, wherein the steering is the heaviest. You get the best feedback in this mode. So if you're going cornering, this is the mode you want to be in, because it gives you the perfect feedback from the car. You know what the wheels are doing, and especially if you want to get into corners and make quick turns like this, the dynamic mode is the best. It's not very good, it's not comparable to the best sports feeling steering wheels out there, but it is much better than the other cars in this segment. Now we're going to check out some of the ADAS features of the MG Astor. Now to activate them, firstly you need to go to the home screen, go to more, and then go to vehicle settings. These are all your ADAS feature under driving assistant. So what we're going to try out now is the lane assist system, and in this we have three modes. First one is a lane departure warning, wherein if you activate the lane departure warning, when you're driving at a speed of 60 and above, you can activate these features. And in the LDW, or lane departure warning, what will happen is if you are unknowingly cutting a lane and you're going off the lane that you are in, there will be an alert on the screen. So let's check that out now. So I've switched on lane departure warning, and what we need to do is now we need to go to a speed of 60 kilometers per hour when the lane assist systems will be activated. So as soon as you're over 60, the car will automatically detect the lanes that it is in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to drive off the lane, and you can see that there is a warning that comes up that I'm cutting the lane and I should course correct myself. Now this is just a warning feature, and there is no intrusion by the car by itself, and that's where the lane departure prevention comes in. So in that case, the car will auto course correct itself and bring you in the lane. So let's check that out. Now I'm switching to lane departure warning. As soon as the car touches 60 kmph, it will activate. And as I try to depart the lane, the car is course correcting itself. If you can see, it's bringing the car back into the lane automatically. So that's how the lane departure prevention works. Now the third feature, which is the lane keep assist. Now what lane keep assist does is it helps you be in the center of the lane. So we're going to turn on lane keep assist, and we're going to go to a speed of 60 kmph. Now it's detecting the lanes, and if I let the steering wheel go, it will autocorrect itself, and if you can see, the steering wheel is moving all by itself. Now obviously we are on a test track, and that's why we are able to do this. So we would highly recommend that you do not try this. If you're buying an MG Astor, you don't try this on the roads. We are doing this under strict testing condition, and just for a demonstration this is being shown. So please do not try this on your own on the normal roads. But yeah, that's how the system works. Now we saw the lane assist systems on the MG Astor. Let's check out the speed assist system. Now for using the speed assist system, you need to keep the cruise control off. Now there are 3 modes in this. First one is a speed warning, then you have the manual mode and intelligent mode. So let's test these out. Let's start with the speed warning first. Now there is a sign of 40 kmph here, and as soon as I pass that sign, the car has detected the speed, and since I'm going over 40 kmph, it is giving me a warning to slow down. Now there's a 60 km/h sign here. The car has detected that as well, and it has set the speed limits accordingly. Now instead of 40, if I go over 60 kmph, the car is going to give a warning. Now I'm going to accelerate, and once the car goes over 60 kmph, you will see a warning here. So that's the warning it's giving me. Now when I switch to the intelligent mode, the car has already detected a speed limit of 60 kmph. What will happen is, as soon as we go over the 60 km speed limit, and the car will break its, as soon as we go over the 60 km/h speed limit, the car will brake itself and bring the speed down to 60 kmph. It will match the speed limit, so that you do not exceed the speed limit. And what this essentially will do is help you avoid a speeding ticket. Now the car has detected the speed limit of 60 kmph. It's set to intelligent mode. Now if I accelerate above 60, you see my foot is off the brake. The car is going to brake automatically. You see, it's braking itself, and it's not letting me go over 60. My foot was fully on the accelerator, but the car would not go over that speed. Now I'm going to demonstrate the adaptive cruise control system in this. So this is the lever for activating the cruise control. You push it towards yourself, and you'll see that the MG Pilot logo has come up, and it says MG Pilot on. MG Pilot comes up here, and now you see that the cruise control indication is in yellow. So to set the speed, you just have to activate it by pressing this button here. And you have to be moving to set a cruise control. You cannot do it when the vehicle is at a standstill. So I've set the cruise control speed to 30 kmph, and my foot is off the accelerator. The car will accelerate itself till it reaches 30 and then maintain the speed. Now if you see, we are over a few bumps, so we have braked. We'll just go over the bump, and my foot is still off the accelerator. What happens is, when you brake, the cruise control cuts itself off, and you just have to press this button again to activate the cruise control. Once the cruise control is activated, it gets going again, and then it will keep going till it reaches the set cruise control speed. Now we are demonstrating the adaptive cruise control. So what is happening here actually is, I've set the speed of the car to 45 kmph, but we are following this car in front, and my foot is completely off the accelerator and the brake. So what it's going to do is, it's just going to keep following the car, and until it reaches the cruise control speed of 45, which I have set already. So the car in front of us will keep accelerating, deaccelerating, and the Astor will also keep doing the same automatically. So if you see, the car slowed down, the Astor also slows down automatically. It gets a move on, the Astor also moves on automatically. This feature is very interesting, and it will be very helpful in stop-go traffic conditions where you don't actually have to control the car at all. If the car in front will stop, it completely comes to a halt. Now if you see, the car went over a bump, so the Astor also slows down, goes over the bump slowly, and then once the car gets to move on, the Astor will also move on. It's now, just as you saw, the car came to a complete halt. My foot is completely off the accelerator and the brake. My foot is completely off the accelerator and the brake. The car is doing the driving itself. What I'm doing is only controlling the steering. So we're driving the MG Astor on the Buddh International Circuit, and we've done a few laps of the course, and I'm happy to report that it has been a really good driving experience with this car so far. Now, firstly, now talking about the power figures. Firstly, this engine is a 1349cc turbo petrol engine, which is based on the Buddh Dynamic 220 theme. And this engine produces 140 PS of power and 220 Newton meters of peak torque. It's mated to a 6-speed automatic gearbox, and let me tell you, it's a delight to drive this car. The outright acceleration is very good, especially when you're driving in the normal drive mode as well. As soon as you push it in the sport mode, the responsiveness of the accelerator increases, and you can actually feel the change in how the car's performance has increased. Also, the electronically programmed steering wheel helps in the overall handling of the car. Now, I've set it to the dynamic mode. There are 3 modes for the steering wheel, like we showed before. And while I'm on the track, obviously I'm going to put it in the dynamic mode. And it's really a delight to drive this car into the corners, and it handles really well. I'm getting proper feedback from the road. I can feel what the wheels are doing, and the steering is weighed up pretty well. It's pretty sturdy, and it gives a lot of confidence when especially you are driving into corners like these, and you can actually have fun with the car in the twisties. Secondly, the comfort level of the car. Now, the suspension is set up to a very nice, it's a nice balance of a stiff and a soft suspension. Especially when we are driving on a track, we are pushing the car in the corners. The suspension is really good. The car is sturdy. It does not feel like that it is going to lose grip. The tires grip really well, and even when we are going into the corners at higher speeds, the car does not budge. It holds the line properly and keeps going in the direction you're pointing the steering wheel at. The ride quality also, like I said, the suspension is a perfect balance. The engine itself does not feel like a 3-cylinder, though there is a little bit of a grunt that you can hear when you are accelerating it hard. But overall, the ride quality is pretty awesome, and especially with these seats, they're very comfortable. They keep you in place even when you're going upon the twisties. You don't move a lot. There is a bit of a side bolstering which helps to that, but overall, I must say that MG has done a really good job with the Astor, and it sure will put itself as a worthy competitor against the Creta and the Seltos. Also, the other competitors that are the Kushaq and the Taygun, I feel that the Astor can really hold its own against these cars as well. Now, we were not able to do a 0 to 100 test for the car because of the regulations at the Buddh International Circuit. However, when we get the car for a comprehensive review, we will be able to do a 0 to 100 test and a top speed test as well. Now, we won't be able to tell you what the fuel efficiency is like as well, because we had the car for a very short time of 3 hours, and we've mostly been driving on a circuit which does not have real world conditions. So to do that, we we will do a comprehensive review once we get the car again. Now the Astor gets something called the digital key. So basically a digital key is nothing but a key which sits inside your phone, and you don't actually need a physical key to access the car or to use the car for that matter. So even if you forget the car key at home, or maybe you lose it, you can still control the car just by using the app. So when you purchase the Astor, you will get an access code for the digital key. The dealership will inform MG Motors that this is your car and this is the phone number that needs to be assigned to this car, and you will get a user ID which is your phone number and a password which you can set, and a 4-digit pin also that you need to set. So once you log into the app along with your phone number and your password, to disable and enable the key you will need a 4-digit code. To control the car with the digital key, it needs to be connected via Bluetooth. So once it is connected, you get all these features that can be operated. You can lock and unlock the car remotely. You can turn on the lights and sound the horn. This is basically to find your car. If it's parked in a mall or in a crowded parking spot, you cannot find your car, you can just hit this button, the lights will start blinking, the car will start honking the horn, and you will be able to find your car. Another feature is this activate engine feature. So once you activate this, you can use the car without the key itself, and you can start it, you can drive the car, and the key is not at all required. Only thing to note is that you need to, once you stop the car, once you put the car off, you will again need to activate the engine to use the phone to start the car again. Now the MG Astor presents itself as a very good package for someone who loves technology. The car is filled to the brim with technology. We saw in the video that it has a number of automated features to assist your driving. The AI bot, it somehow is a gimmicky feature. I mean, yes, it is nice to look at a bot. It has these emojis that show up on the screen, which gives you a feel-good factor. But if you ask me personally, after a few months, I don't see me using those features at all. Most of the cars in the segment have voice commands already, so it's just like something there, to keep you entertained. Yes, it will pull out results from the web if you ask it a question like Alexa or Siri or Google. It does that. That is an additional feature that you get, of course. Besides that, the car is very well rounded. There are hardly any complaints. We would be nitpicking by saying that the car misses out on ventilated seats. It misses out on auto dimming rear view mirrors. It also misses out on the lights on the vanity mirrors. There's no ambient lighting. These are features which you could live without, but they would have been good to have features. Apart from that, now we don't know what the price of the car is, so we cannot tell you how good a value it will be. But keeping the price apart, this is a very well-rounded package, and you would be happy with your purchase because the car delivers in terms of riding, performance, in terms of drive comfort. It is loaded with features in terms of infotainment, in terms of connected features, the digital key, which is a new feature in the car, and if you ask me if it's priced competitively against the Creta, the Seltos, the Taygun and the Kushaq, if MG prices the car rightly, it will surely make a dent in the sales numbers of the Seltos and the Creta, which lead this segment in terms of sales numbers alone. That being said, let us know, what do you like about the MG Astor? What do you think about this car? Would you like more manufacturers to bring ADAS features? Do let us know in the comment section below. Also, if you like this video, do not forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to Motoroids if you haven't already. Press the bell notification to get notified whenever we upload our next video. We will be driving the car. We will be doing a comprehensive review on the car soon. So be sure you hit the subscribe button to know when that video comes out. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is Vipul signing off. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.